object. Now, according to the normal protocol, whenever an object is created, the corresponding constructor is called and the values are initialized. Certain cases, even when an object is created, the particular constructor is not called. That is in situations where you create one object and give it values from another object. You copy the values of one object to another object. Like you see in this example, when one object is used to initialize another object, you do not require an initialization function over there. The main reason for a constructor is to initialize a data with values. When you are using the values from another object, there is no point in calling a constructor separately. Here if you see, you are having cal, which is the name of the class, followed by the object name OB1. So, when this object is created, the constructor will be invoked. Using that object, you are calling some function disp. Next statement, if you see, you are creating another object OB2, class name followed by the object name cal OB2 is equal to OB1. So, according to this assignment operator, whatever values comes to the right of the is equal to sign is assigned to the left of the assignment operator. So, whatever values have been initialized to the object OB1 are simply copied to the object OB2. So, in this case the constructor value need not be called because the values are initialized in this statement itself. This method creates object 2 as a bit by bit copy of object 1, and that is called member wise initialization. From one member another member is initialized. So, in this case you do not need the constructor function at all. Only difference between the other functions in this is that there is no return type and the name of the constructor. When variables need to be initialized with user defined values. Now, previously if you have seen in the constructor, all the variables have to be initialized values in the program itself. Like you give cal opening and closing brackets and you say num is 0 and float to 0.0, that is all. So, those values have to be defined when you are writing the program itself. In certain cases, you may require that when you are executing the program, you want to give the input or the initialization values. In such a case, we go in for constructors with arguments. Whatever the user gives during the execution of the program, that will be copied to the object's data members. So, how does that? How is it done? What is the syntax for that? We will see it using this example program. You are having the header file, you are having the class declaration CAL, you are having the private data member num1, num2 and TOT. So, there are 3 integer variables. You are having the public access specifier, you are having one function, you are having the constructor CAL, which is the same as the class name. This is the same as the class name. So, this is a constructor, it is having 2 integer variables int and int. This is a constructor declaration. Next, you are having a function called disp, which does not return any value. You are closing the class body. Now, as I said earlier, these 2 functions are only declared over here, they are not defined. So, member functions inside a class can be declared inside a class, but defined outside the class, or they can be declared and defined within a class. So, when you are going to define its body outside the class, what is the syntax to be followed? Now, here if you see, you are having the name of the class followed by 2 semicolons, followed by the function name, followed by the function declaration. You are having the opening of the function and here you are initializing the values. Now, what are the values that are initialized? You are assigning this x value to the first variable, the y value to the second variable, and this TOT you are assigning it to 0. So, this x and y's values are not known during program compilation. These are the 2 values that will be given by the user later. Whenever during the execution the user gives these values, they will simply be copied to these integer variables. Then again the second function you are using the class name followed by these 2 semicolons followed by the function name. Here you do not have to mention the return type. It is sufficient if you mention simply the function name, and if any arguments you have to mention it that way. The return type is not required when you define a function outside a class. Here you are summing up, this is just a program to add 2 numbers. So, you are summing up the 2 numbers num1 and num2, assigning it to tot variable, and you are displaying the sum. Now, this 2 semicolons is called scope resolution operator. So, as I mentioned, these 2 semicolons, they have a technical term called scope resolution operator. So, what is this scope resolution operator? This is used to access member functions and constructors that are defined outside the boundary of the class. Like here we are having only one class, say we are having another class called cal1, cal2, cal3, cal4. How are we going to know which function is defined outside the class? To which class does it belong? So, for us to know that this particular function belongs to this particular class, we use the class name followed by the scope resolution operator followed by the function name followed by the parameters. So, the scope resolution operator is used to link the function with that particular class, and it is the operator which denotes to the compiler that the function is declared inside this class, but its body is given here. So, this makes the program more readable, like the class definition becomes shorter, and wherever you want the program according to your user's need, he can legibly write it away from the class. So, it makes the program more neat. It is denoted by 2 semicolons, one after the other. So, now we will see how this main function calls these two functions. Every program starts its execution from the main function followed by the opening brace. You are having two variables n1 and n2. You are entering the value for n1 and using the cin operator you are getting the value. You are asking the user to enter the second value for n2. Then here you are calling the function the cal c1 n1 comma n2. So, class name followed by the object name. C1 here is the object. As soon as this object is created, the constructor will be called, but the constructor is having two values. So, you have to pass those two values to the constructor. So, this n1 and n2 are the values which you have got from the user. So, say if the user has entered 5 and 10, these two values will be passed on to the constructor. So, 5 and 10 will be going into this x and y, that will be allotted to num1 and num2. So, now num1 is having 5 and num2 is having 10. Then C1 dot disp, which adds the two values and assigns it to tot and displays the value. So, this is how the program is executed. Then finally, you have the output where you are entering the first value 50, the second value 70 and the output is 120. So, this is how constructors are declared, member functions are declared, they are defined outside the class and they are accessed from the main function.